I really like magicians, and I especially like mentalists. Mentalists are a kind of magician that can tell you what cards you're thinking of without you ever having taken a card out of the deck. You just think about one, and they can tell you different words that you're thinking of, and they just do mind reading tricks, basically, and they are just tricks. Anyway, I was listening to one of them speak, and I learned something about language learning from him, and he said that if you are going to perform as a mentalist, you have got to get over the fear of failure, because so many of these tricks involve just gutsy chances. So they make a claim and they use basic human psychological principles, and then they take a chance that they're going to work. And really, it's pretty amazing how big of risks that these guys take, especially when they're on camera and so forth, and it works out really nicely most of the time. But what he said is that if you're going to do it, you have to fail, and you have to fail often. And so he said the best way to do that is to get in front of the biggest crowd you can and attempt the most audacious illusion and simply get failure over with, so that you know what it feels like, that you know the sting and the pain of making such a huge mistake, and you can get over the fear and the shame and the embarrassment that comes over that by deliberately creating a situation in which this is bound to happen. And when you look at the most successful language learners, this is exactly what they do. They dare to fail, and they put themselves in positions where they're going to fail. And you cannot experience success unless you've dealt with failure. So mistakes are the most valuable teacher. And in fact, looked at one way, mistakes are a tremendous accomplishment, not only because not everyone is willing to make them, but of course you are, because you're going to learn a language, but because you give yourself the opportunity to engage in self-correction. You get to notice that you've made a mistake. You get to analyze it and figure out how to improve, which is an opportunity you don't get if you're flawless each and every time. So as you fail and fail again and fail again and fail again, your awareness of the mistakes grow, and failure itself becomes your teacher. And more than that, you give yourself the opportunity when you fail in front of others to be corrected, or at least you should, and you should ask to be corrected. Now, I don't recommend that you go around apologizing every time that you're speaking your foreign language and, saying how bad you are at it and asking to be corrected. Oh, well, I made so many mistakes. No. Don't do that. Just say, please correct me, and tell people that you're going to make mistakes. And one thing that you can do that's really, really powerful is go in advance and say, I want to speak my language, I want to get some practice, but I know I'm going to make mistakes, and I would be very, very grateful if you'd correct me, but only 3 times. Tell them that you want 3 corrections, and the rest you just want to be allowed to make your mistakes. And they'll have heard you, and they will allow that, and so there's no more need for you to apologize or feel badly, and you've shaped the amount of correction that you'll receive in the face of failure, so that you can get calm, you can relax, and fall into the conversation with greater ease and pleasure. And so that's a very, very powerful tip, is that if you decide how many times you're going to be corrected, then you can just get on with practicing your language.